As News Central investigates the circumstances surrounding the killing of the Divisional Police Officer of Rano Division CSP Baba Ali, tensions remain high in the community. Armored police vehicles have rolled in and heavily armed officers have taken over the area as residents continue to express outrage over the incident. Now, the Kano State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of 41 suspects in connection with the attack that led to the DPO's death while on duty on Monday, 26th May 2025. Meanwhile, News Central is looking into disturbing new claims about the slain officer. Full details will be coming soon, and we'll try to connect with our correspondent in Kano, Emmanuel Bagudu. Now, for more on this, we have Emmanuel Bagudu joining us from the scene of the incident. Hello, Emmanuel. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you so much. Good afternoon from Rano. Thank you so much.
All right, please go ahead and give us updates. Which ones do you have?
Yes. It's just about investigating the man called Baba Ali, who was killed by the community members in Rano. And of course, police officers have taken over the entire community, causing tension, intimidating youth as they claim, and then telling them that they are going to take over their community according to what the youth claim, making them feel so inferior. But of course, due to the incident that happened that led to the killing of one of their senior police officers, talking about CSP Baba Ali, the DPO in Rano. Now, we went investigating to know who the DPO was, what was his lifestyle in Rano that led to his killing. Of course, I received a lot of phone calls. I received a call from Bauchi. I received a call from Kafanchan. This same man, according to people that called me, was a DPO in those two states, Kaduna and Bauchi. And he allegedly he was a ruthless person that actually, does not believe in innocence, innocence before being proven guilty. And then tend to tarnish the image of the police by allegedly by torturing a suspected arrested offenders. And the youth are not missing what they are saying. They are saying that this gentleman has been a thorn in the flesh, has been a pain in the ass for the community. So we are still trying to. We're going to get the details of that interview. Those interviews, unfortunately, there's no network within that axis due to the fragility of the area. So I'm in neighboring Libya local government speaking to you as I speak. Just a stone throw from Rano. Yeah.
All right. So, but what can you tell us about the 41 suspects that were arrested?
Yes. It was initially 27 suspects. And of course, you see the video of those police officers who are intent to make sure that they pick up everybody that's involved in that killing of their colleague. So they are still in that. In fact, those 41 suspects that were killed were the people that were declared that went on rampage. Immediately, the young man, Abdullahi, was discovered dead on police custody. Suspected. They allegedly, they are also suspected persons involved in causing civil disobedience in that Rano community. And the police intend to stay there for at least a month to make sure that everybody involved, everybody found culpable is being arrested. So but the whole situation is dicey because the community members are not happy. Their children are being picked. 41 able youth being picked from that community. I mean, it's something serious for them, and they are not trying they're not taking it lightly. And we're afraid. I mean, if the police doesn't take these things easy, we're afraid that things may, from what we find out today, things may turn out upside down. And we hope nothing like that happens, but everything has to be treated with caution. So the persons the fourth one that were suspected, that they were arrested, were allegedly being found, wanting in areas of civil disobedience, civil disturbances, and that led to the killing of DPO Baba Ali. Yeah.
All right. Now, in your report, you talked about, how there are armored police vehicles, heavily armed officers, and the fact that, some of the youths feel intimidated. Now, how long do you think this investigation would actually take before Rano goes back to normal?
Yes, it will take a longer time. Before now, it was the gentleman that was killed, talking about DPO Baba Ali, was said to have allegedly tortured two men in Bauchi that led to their death. and nothing happened. And in fact, I received a phone call from Kefan Chan talking about the southern part of Kaduna, that he was also a DPO in one of the communities in the southern part of Kaduna, which I don't want to mention because I don't have records yet. Allegedly, that he was a very ruthless person that actually doesn't take human rights into cognizance while persecuting suspects. Allegedly. And coming into Rano, probably, that is where, of course, allegedly he made his Waterloo. And then we are going to continue to investigate. We are going to find out from the police whether the killing of Baba Ali is actually a case of nemesis. Of course, the PRO in Kano, Haruna Kiawa, is not in position to make any statement because he only covers Kano State. That's his area of jurisdiction. He cannot speak for Kaduna, he cannot speak for Bauchi. He can only speak of what he knows about the DPO. That's why we seem not to have details from Kiawa. But of course, we will continue to investigate. We will find out from those persons that claim that the next Baba Ali DPO was a ruthless person in Kafanchan and in Bauchi State. Okay. So those are the things we are going to continue to talk about, and we give details to the public as time unfolds. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, Emmanuel. We'll definitely look forward to more updates from you on this. And now let's continue with the devastating flood in Niger State, where the National Emergency Management Agency says the death toll in Niger State flooding rose to at least 150 on Saturday. A spokesman for the agency, Ibrahim Hussaini, said the sharp increase from the previous death toll of 115 came as bodies were recovered nearly 10 kilometers away from the town of Mokwa, the epicenter of the floods. A total of 3,000 persons have also been displaced, leveling more than 250 homes and washing away 2 bridges. The update comes as President Bola Tinubus said he had directed the activation of the National Emergency Response Center in the state. The president said his directive was necessitated by the briefing from the National Emergency Management Agency on the need to scale up urgent humanitarian responses to meet victims' needs. Meanwhile, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has delivered essential relief items to provide immediate succor to those displaced by the disaster in Mokwa. Now, this was disclosed by the Director General of NEMA, Mrs. Zubaida Umar. The relief intervention, according to Umar, is part of a swift and comprehensive response by NEMA to the unprecedented flood which has tragically claimed over 100 lives, damaged homes, and affected livelihoods. Now, Umar noted that based on an on-site assessment conducted on Friday by NEMA team led by her, no fewer than 100 bodies have so far been recovered as search and rescue operations continue. Away from the tragic flood, let's discuss President Tinubus' stewardship. Now, as President Tinubu clocks 2 years in office, the milestone invites a reflection on the administration's security journey, the challenges and the achievements realized. News Central's Igbalani Omoni reports.
The handover of this child, Mohammed, to the Borno state government and the reunion of a mother, Alice, with a family reflects 2 stark realities of the current security situation in the country, particularly the north. The first reflects the current level of insecurity that captures Alice's experiences, which entailed kidnapping, torture, and the birthing of a child in captivity. Despite President Tinubu's promise of tackling insecurity upon assumption of office in May 29, 2023, Alice's experience, like many others, tells a different story.
They are not people that, we can just, I don't know just what to say.
When you talk about the resilience, you look at these beautiful daughters who have stood firm with courage and resilience to come out of the bush after over 6 years of being kept in captivity.
It's not an easy task.
The second part reflects Alice's rescue and the joy of reuniting with a family, which was made possible by the harmonized effort of security agencies and government initiatives.
We give them kudos and we pray that God will continue to strengthen them and give them victory over these terrorists.
If you see them on the road, you won't know they're even coming out of Sambisa. And that is because of the care they were given by the military. We'll continue with giving them mental health and psychosocial support. We'll provide for their welfare and also begin the process of tracing their families for final reintegration to their communities.
The administration claims that troops have neutralized over 8,000 terrorists and bandits, arrested 11,600 criminals, and recovered over 10,000 weapons.
As we speak, our troops are out there in Sambisa, in Timbuktu, doing operations as we go on, as we speak now. Not only here in the northwest, north central, efforts are being made to ensure that Nigeria is safe and secure, in line with the mandate of Mr. President.
While some praise the administration's efforts, others criticize the effectiveness of the strategies employed to tackle the security challenges.
Other issues, I think the previous government has did well, and even the late government of Tinubus is also doing well, but I think there are negligence. But I think the issues of politicizing security issues and insurgency, which has to do with life and death, I think is very wrong. Any person with a well-thinking brain should not, connect politics and insecurity.
As President Tinubus' administration marks its second anniversary, security remains a critical issue, and experts advocate the adoption of a holistic approach, one that involves all segments of society to combat challenges. In Lagos 4 News Central, Igbalani Omoni.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has called on members of opposition political parties in the country to commend the achievements of President Bola Tinubu, especially in the provision of infrastructure around the country. Wike, while speaking to newsmen in Abuja during the inspection of renovated and newly constructed infrastructural projects slated for commissioning to mark President Bola Tinubu's second-year anniversary, says that the president has done tremendously well and deserves the support of all citizens, even in the opposition political parties. He described criticisms of the president by members of the opposition as unfair and uncalled for.
To all of us who are critics that Abuja has not been working and Abuja is working, who has made it to work? It's Mr. President. Even if you don't like somebody as a person, but when he does the good thing, say, look, yes, I'm not in good terms with him, I don't like him, however, he's doing well, or he has done well. Opposition does not necessarily mean anything good he says bad. Mr. President has done tremendously well. And that's why you see every nook and corner of this country, everybody said, look, given that opportunity again, and the next for 2 years, 4 years, you'll see what is going to happen. So I am quite happy with the achievement Mr. President has recorded, particularly as it concerns the Federal Capital Territory. It had never happened before.
In the meantime, the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, has called on the people of the state to join hands to lift Plateau State to a higher level, irrespective of socio-cultural differences. The governor, speaking at the Thanksgiving service to mark the second year of his administration, says with one voice and unity of purpose, Plateau State will rise again. News Central's Chizoba Nyongwe completes the report.
Sons and daughters of Plateau State converged on the popular polo field in Jos, the state capital, to join the governor and his entourage in celebrating his second year in office at a Thanksgiving service with songs of praise. The governor is optimistic that Plateau State will be great again.
I want to thank you, the people of Plateau State, for not only giving me the trust, for not only entrusting me with the responsibility of watching over this state. Plateau must be united. From this day forward, we will continue to be our brother's keeper. irrespective of tribe or tongue, irrespective of denomination. We will continue to march on together, irrespective of the boundaries of faith. We will continue to hold one another together until God takes us to the promised land.
Dignitaries at the event commended the governor for his achievements so far and called for support for a greater state.
The weight of responsibility on the leadership is so heavy that it cannot be achieved by one person. God in His infinite mercy will give us the wisdom to cooperate with His elected officials.
We are not unaware of the fact that the security challenges are hurdles on your way. Our desire is to work with government to ensure a unified Plateau State where peace and progress will be our lot.
Do not abate your efforts. Continue to escalate the good work that the whole nation of Nigeria will see Plateau, which is like a city built on the hill, and everybody will be praising God for your sake.
The day ended with a banquet where some former governors, ministers, and National Assembly members, including traditional rulers, were in attendance to celebrate with the governor. In Plateau State, for News Central, Chizoba Anyuri.
The House of Representatives has vowed to investigate both the immediate and remote causes behind the midnight conduct of the West African Senior School Certificate Examination, WAEC, in parts of the country. Chairman of the House Committee on Basic Examination Bodies, Oboko Forji, made this known during an interface with officials of the West African Examinations Council at the National Assembly, stressing that Nigerian parents deserve answers as to why their children's safety was put at risk. Representing WAEC at the hearing, Senior Assistant Registrar and Zonal Coordinator Ambrose Okelezo informed the committee that the head of WAEC Nigeria could not attend due to an emergency meeting with the registrar and other heads of national offices. His explanation, however, was met with strong rejection from the committee members.
Monies were being appropriated for the conduct of the examination by Parliament. As a committee, we demand explanation. We do not need to cry over a spilled milk. But as I said earlier, measures must be put in place to make sure there is no future occurrence.
He's not competent to speak to us, he's not competent to speak to us. Because there are myriad of issues ranging from the fact that people in my village where government has never remembered, there is no house in my village that has electricity, had to write exams up to 12 a.m., 1 a.m., and they were calling me from the village, to the issues that your logistics failed. You will leave your question papers in Keke, commercial driver, and you'll be using it to carry passengers from Rumokuta to Rumola. You have failed. I don't know why for a country of over 200 million Nigerians, government cannot have competent hands to handle simple issues like I don't know where they got this incompetence from.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, as jostling for the 2027 general election thickens, emerging developments have continued to cast doubt on the ability of opposition parties to present a formidable challenge to President Bola Tinubu and the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, in the 2027 general elections. Most major opposition parties, such as the People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, New Nigeria People's Party, has been entangled in deep-seated internal crises. Now, the earlier excitement surrounding the Social Democratic Party, which former Kano State Governor Nasser El-Rufai once hinted could serve as a launchpad for the opposition coalition, is also fading away as the party suddenly became neck-deep in internal party crisis. SDP is now at loggerheads over the formation of its National Working Committee, with some members accusing National Chairman of the party, Shehu Gabam, and former Kaduna State Governor Nasser El-Rufai of being the masterminds behind the current crisis. Now, to help unpack this and the consequences of the internal party crisis among opposition parties, I'm now joined by Declan Ihekare. Declan is a political analyst and rights activist. Thank you so much for joining us on the news, Declan.
Thank you so much.
So we're seeing the same occurrence. You've seen the same occurrence in APC, Labour Party, PDP, and now within the SDP. What exactly is the cause of the crisis within the SDP at the moment?
Yeah, thank you. I think the problem we have in this country is that we have politicians who doesn't have vision and mission. We have politicians whose interest is for self and not for us all. Because if you are a politician and you are for all, you will remain where you are. That is the essence of having political parties. And as a member of a political party, you should be able to remain where you are, to make sure that your party gets to the top like every other party. You see, when I hear people defecting from their party to other party, and other party are accepting them, I see them playing, using Nigerians as, a game, using us as game, as if we matter not to them. I expect every party, every political party, and every party member to have a focus on why you belong to a particular political party. And so if your party is not doing well, you want to move. I think that shows how weak you are as a person. All right, not the party being weak, but you as a person, you are being weak. It means you as a person does not have an ideology of yourself. And so when people defect, like I said, people like El-Rufai and co, I was not too comfortable with that, seeing them where they were and where they are now. I expect them to remain where they are, like the PDP or the APC, to have strengthened those parties and allow those who owns the party, like the SDP for instance, to do the needful to also get to the top. But we're in a country where you find people who loses out in an election or who are not favored in a particular ministerial appointment or any appointments whatsoever. You find them when they are angry, the best thing they feel they can do is to leave the party they had always thought, or we have always thought they believe in, and defer to any other one. And once they do that, you are bound to see crisis happening in those parties they move into, because they want to show some strength above those that actually owns the party, above those that have been there, who has a structure. You can't just come from somewhere and move to a place where the foundation is already laid. For instance, let me tell you, SDP is a party that most Nigerians were really looking up to come 2027. We are seeing the downfall of PDP, we're seeing the crisis in Labour, we're seeing the crisis in other party, NMPP and other parties. But we're yet to see that of SDP until all this crisis started happening.
Now, I know you did talk about, how ideological divisions have actually contributed to the crisis within the SDP. But according to what we know, they're actually at loggerheads over, the formation of the National Working Committee. Do you have an idea of why there's this confusion?
Yeah, the National Working Committee of SDP ought to be 15 members. And as at before the crisis, there were 12. They needed to fill in 3. And like I said earlier, if you are a newcomer into a political party, you must be able to abide by the rules on ground.
You're talking about the likes of El-Rufai.
Yes, you must be able to abide by the rules on ground. You must have met certain rules. You must have met people. It's only in Nigeria that you see people who come from one political party today becoming lord in other political parties, becoming overnight lord becoming a lord over those that have been there for years, becoming lord over those that have been nurturing that party. Okay, it's pure aberration, which I will not support. So what I want to suggest is that every political party must also have an ideology, must also have a way of rejecting people who are coming into the party. Though in Nigeria, you hear people saying, the more we are, the merrier. Okay, but for me, the more we are, the more good we are, the merrier, and the better for the society. Not everyone that just jumps into your party you admit because you want crowd or because you want people who just want to gain popularity for no reasons. And so it's just the same thing that happens where you see people who are voted into office through a political party, you find them defecting to another party, thereby defeating the purpose of the votes that were given to them by the people. They were actually giving those votes on the platform of a political party.
Speaking of the defections, let's hear your thoughts. Do you think that there is a ploy for a one-party state or one-party system?
Well, for me, it's quite unfortunate that what we're seeing today is happening under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who, in quotes, seems to be, who I would say represents democratic setting in this country. He is somebody who had always been in politics for years, and seeing his party now rejoicing over influence of other people from other parties. For me, I think it's something that needs to be checkmated. It's something that should even give him a nightmare. It's something that should even give him a feeling of why is it happening in a country where you don't have oppositions. Okay, you are bound to have a dictatorial government or administration, and I pray we don't go that direction under this administration. I'm not always happy when you hear APC leadership saying, "Oh, we're happy that we're getting more people into our system." Why? Why are you so happy? You need not to be happy. You need to be happy when people are even living to form opposition, to checkmate your excesses, to tell you where you are wrong. And so Nigerians, for themselves, actually know where they are going come 2027.
So are you also one of those people that has doubts on the ability of the opposition parties to present a formidable front to challenge the APC?
Well, for me, it's not too late. It's not too late. Anything could happen. After all, CPC, AMPP, what's it called, ACN came together and formed APC, okay? And they made a headway. But for me, I would have preferred a situation where you have people with good ideology coming together to form the coalition. I will not be happy seeing people of questionable characters, coming together to form a coalition trying to rescue Nigeria from a government they feel is not doing well. I want to see credible Nigerians actually forming a formidable coalition. And that's where I am concerned about. But when you see people who have been tested, who have been in the system before, coming now into a party like SDP that we have always believed, is a party that has a symbol of MKO Abiola, it's a party that could be good for the people. And you see people of questionable characters, people who want to come in and take it all, people who are coming in just to create an avenue of confusion into a house that has been set. I think that would not be too fair for our democratic setting in this country.
All right, now speaking of coalition, it's barely 2 years before the next election. Do you think that there's still time for any coalition at this moment?
Very, very, very well. There's enough time. The people, the voters, are the time watcher. Nigerians are actually waiting for a credible coalition. Most Nigerians are not happy with the current administration. They are not happy. For me, I see the current administration as an administration that is full of propaganda. A few weeks ago, some people were rejoicing, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has paid debts. And very few periods ago, we also heard that he has gone borrowing again. Mm-hmm. So what are we saying? Mm-hmm. So for me, I want to see a government that will come in, that will be going the direction of the masses, that will be going the direction of rescuing the people. In Nigeria today, the poor is getting poorer. Even the middle class is getting poor today. And so we must get to that level of having people who have the conscience of the people, who have the mindset of going into political office to rescue the mass of the people. Nigeria is a blessed country. And so that's why it pains someone like me when I see crisis in opposition parties, when I see opposition parties that ought to work towards checkmating the excesses of the current administration engulfed in crisis. And so for me, I think SDP should rise up now and do the needful. If they are not ready to admit those that are coming in to destabilize the party, they should show them the way.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you so much, Declan, for your time and for joining us in the studio.
You're welcome.
Now, moving away from that, children in the Gwagwalada community located in Abuja Municipal Area Council have been identified to lack basic amenities, including access to schools, hospitals, and several others. Now, this was made known by international non-profit organization Action Aid Nigeria as they visited the community to mark the International Children's Day. Children were identified to trek long distances to neighboring communities through dangerous bush paths just to get basic education. News Central's Bettina Ngweli reports.
This is the uncompleted building in Gwalada community where over 100 children manage here to get an education or a semblance of an education from the volunteer that comes from outside town to make sure that these children are not left entirely without an education.
The Gwalada community is located in the Abuja Municipal Area Council of Abuja, though several kilometers from the city center. Despite having over 200 children of school-going age who can best be described as vibrant and intelligent, many of these young minds have no access to basic education, proper health care, and several others because the community has no schools and hospitals.
Education is not a luxury, it's a lifeline. With a school here in Gwalada, our children will learn in safety and dignity. Parents will have peace of mind knowing that their children are close by and protected. The community will grow stronger, more united, and more informed. The FCT will benefit from a more educated populace.
Get children plenty now. We not get school. I beg with the beg government to make help us. Don't come out. We not get hospital for you. People plenty where you don't do that because the time when they go bomb picking.
She's really ashamed of herself, and the reason is not because that she don't know how to read, but it's because there is no school and she have not been exposed. So she's here, the way she's seeing how everybody is looking at her, she's shy, and so that is what is making her difficult to speak in English. And so she's also saying that if the government can help them to get school here, that will go a long way. And then
many of the children are forced to trek long distances to neighboring communities, often through bush paths across unsafe roads, just to obtain the most basic education.
The absence of a functional school within the Gwalada community has resulted in children having to travel long and unsafe distance, having to travel long and unsafe distances daily to access education. This challenge disproportionately affects girls, exposing them to numerous risks, including road accidents, harassment, gender-based violence, and exploitation.
We came to this community. There was not anybody to come to the community. So we came here during the recession. Then I now saw the children in this community. There was none of them that was able to even say, understand, come or go. And for that reason, I now asked the community leaders, what happened to these children? They said there is no school.
Education is not a gift to be dangled in the air for political gains. It is a basic human right, and it is the hope of the people of Gwalada community here that the government will see into this situation, look into it, and make sure that these people have schools, hospitals, and every right, basic, that they need. In Abuja, Gwalada community, for News Central, Bettina Ngweli.
Thank you, Bettina, for that report. Now, popular native doctor Levi Obieze, also known as Ide Show, who was apprehended while attempting to flee the country, is now in police custody and facing serious charges related to kidnapping and ritual killings. The suspect was handed over by officers of the Nigeria Immigration Services and has been transported to Enugu. News Central's lead correspondent Bernard Akede reports.
As the saying goes, another one bites the dust. Popular native doctor Levi Obieze, widely known as Ide Show, was intercepted by operatives of the Nigeria Immigration Service while allegedly attempting to flee the country on a motorbike.
The suspect, a native of Umuojo village in Iziagu community in Keno State, is wanted by the police Keno State Command for alleged involvement in the abduction of a 30-year-old girl and ritual killings. He was identified via a National Identity Management Commission card slip that was found on him, and he has made self-incriminating statement during profiling.
Obieze, who has been on the radar for crimes connected to kidnapping and ritual killings, was immediately handed over to the Lagos State Police Command. Items found in his possession include an ATM card, 2 smart mobile phones, and the sum of 70,000 naira in cash.
I want to start by saying we are glad that the effective synergy between the Nigerian police force and the immigration service is working, and we are taking it to higher level. And this was informed the handing over of this principal suspect to us today. The suspect is Obi Levi Obieze, who is wanted by the Kano State Police Command for heinous crimes and capital offences that he has committed. And this tends to show that we are on the same page and trying to sanitize the country of criminality and other heinous crimes.
Speaking to journalists, both the acting zonal coordinator of the Nigeria Immigration Service and the Lagos State Commissioner of Police assured the public that the rule of law will prevail and urged Nigerians to support security agencies in the fight against crime.
Gentlemen of the press, I want you to know that intelligence could be gotten from even the pages of the social media or the newspaper. If you have active intelligence or actionable intelligence and they are properly disseminated to Nigeria Immigration Service, you could be sure that our officers are vigilant and they are proactive. They will be put on notice, and if you have such a person declared wanted, you can be assured that such a person will be apprehended.
That is not the first time that we have this level of cooperation and synergy. In fact, for so many cases that we have worked together on, the Nigerian police force and immigration have been able to bring back to this country, or even arrest them before they get out of the country, of wanted suspects across the country. And we continue to strengthen this cooperation to ensure that anybody that committed crime anywhere in this country are apprehended before they get out of the country, or where they are getting out to work on this synergy to get them back into the country for investigation and prosecution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The handover and subsequent transfer of Obieze to the Enugu State Police Command marks another collaborative success among Nigeria security agencies. The hope for Nigerians now is that justice will prevail in this case. In Lagos for News Central, Bernard Akede.
Now away from Nigeria and to North Africa, hundreds of protesters gathered in Libya's capital for the third consecutive week to call for the resignation of the UN-recognized government of national unity led by Abdelhamid Dbeibah amid social discontent and political and security tensions. Libya is split between the UN-recognized government in Tripoli led by Dbeibah and a rival administration in the east controlled by the family of military strongman Khalifa Haftar. Now, the North African country has remained deeply divided since the 2011 NATO-backed revolt that toppled and killed longtime leader Muammar Gaddafi. National elections scheduled for December 2021 were postponed indefinitely due to disputes between the two rival powers. The recent unrest came after deadly clashes between armed groups controlling different areas of Tripoli killed at least 8 people, according to the UN.
احنا لينا طبعا في المظاهرات ثالث جمعه لينا هذه لاسقاط الحكومه. ليش نسقطوا في الحكومه احنا؟ لان الحكومه جبناها باش تدير وحده وطنيه وباش تنحي الغلط اللي كان يعني في الحكومات اللي اسبق، لكن لقينا الوضع تأزم اكثر واكثر، يعني ما درتلناش حل.
اتينا في هذا اليوم والجمعات السابقه لنعبر عن راينا، كانت لدينا مطالب شرعيه طالب بها الشعب الليبي.
الاولى هي اسقاط حكومه الوحده الوطنيه. حكومه الوحده الوطنيه عاتت في ليبيا الفساد المالي والاداري لا يخفى على الجميع، هو موجود في كل المؤسسات. ايضا تفكيك الميليشيات المسلحه ورفع الدعم عنها، المطالبه بالجيش والشرطه، وايضا المطالبه بانتخابات فوريه ومستعجله.
Away from Africa, tensions are high in South Korea as thousands of protesters flooded the streets of Seoul this week, just days ahead of a snap presidential election. Demonstrators were split, some waving national flags in support of ousted President Yoon Suk-yeol, others demanding justice after his controversial declaration of martial law. The snap election was triggered after Yoon's decision to impose military rule faced nationwide backlash and was widely condemned as unconstitutional. Security forces remained on high alert as rival crowds chanted competing slogans. With the country deeply divided, political observers say that the country or the outcome of Tuesday's vote could redefine South Korea's democratic future. In the world of sports, at least 20 members of the Kano State contingent returning from the just concluded National Sports Festival in Ogun State have died in a fatal road accident in Kura local government area. According to reports, the vehicle carrying the team veered off a bridge and crashed around 9 a.m. on Saturday, just as they were nearing the end of their long journey back to Kano. Ado Sali Sugama, one of the survivors, said the tragic incident occurred after the team had been on the road since Thursday night following the festival's conclusion. The victims include athletes, journalists, medical staff, sports administrators, and the vehicle's driver. Kano State finished the festival with a total of 29 medals across various events. And that's all at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our top stories. We told you that federal government has mourned victims of Niger flood and launched relief efforts to displaced victims. We also told you that House of Reps has rejected WAEC delegation following midnight exams and insisted on meeting head of national office. Finally, you heard that thousands or hundreds, rather, of protesters in Libya are calling on Prime Minister Dbeiba to quit in third weekly march. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Darshan Usman.